Okay, so it seems like there has been another Twitch ban that has gone on, and this time it's for Shondo, someone who we have covered on this channel quite a bit. If you don't know Shondo, she recently was on a hiatus and just came back in the last couple of weeks or so, and yeah, it seems like she is already banned, and she's actually put out a little bit of a response to it, so I wanted to cover it and talk about it, because I do think it is important that some people sometimes do give a response and talk about their own bans, because, you know, it just helps out. And yeah, as I said, they're suspended, but essentially, yeah, you can see this pinned tweet from Shondo, which says, "I got too silly." And yeah, you can see just now, Twitch partner Fallen Shadow has been temporarily banned, partner Twitch EN. So yeah, and a lot of people have been saying what happened this time, why, and apparently they got the wrong @ as well. Oh yeah, they did, which is quite funny. So yeah, obviously, Shondo then uploaded the email that she ended up getting from Twitch, and obviously it says, "Yeah, hello Fallen Shadow, we've reviewed your content video and we're concerned about you. If you're currently struggling or feeling unsafe, please know that support is available." And obviously that then follows up with a, "You've been temporarily suspended, by the way. We care about you, but also, yeah, you're banned," which obviously is a pretty interesting thing, but they also give them some good links, which, to be honest, I think that's actually pretty good from Twitch, if they've noticed that kind of stuff going on, because it does seem like she has said something like this, saying, "God forbid a white girl have a little dinky and cry a little bit on New Year's, sorry, a dinky, I think they mean drinky, cry a little bit on New Year's Eve. This is culture suppression," which is quite funny. But then obviously they then, you know, follow up by saying exactly what they did. They say 1 day suspension. So again, it's only going to be a day. It's not going to be for a long time. But they say for saying that they didn't want to be, you know, I'm not going to continue that, but you guys can read that. I don't really want to get my YouTube video bonked for saying that, but that's what they said. And they said, "Forgot in Minecraft. My wall of text aside, I accept Twitch's decision here. It's understandable given that and the fact that I was intoxicated. Mental health isn't a walk in the park, and I don't want to pretend it is. However, I'll try to do better. I should have known holidays would be a trigger for me now, but I wanted to celebrate the same way I always do with always do at New Year's with you guys." So yeah, obviously it seems like she made like a thing, say, you know, just a comment in her video, in her stream, sorry. That essentially, yeah, it flagged it up as being like self-harm or whatever, you know, you want to class it as. So again, I think that, you know, it's a fair enough ban from Twitch, I think that, and I think even Shondo, you know, believes that too. She says, "Briefly saying that I don't want to be doesn't represent thoughts that I have any intent whatsoever. I have a lot of family members incredibly dependent on me, and I have no plans to do this. So many people suffer from depression, and this is just the reality of our existence. I've clarified this so many times, and suppressing people expressing how they genuinely feel just adds more to the stigma and harmfulness. Not enjoying your life, not feeling hope for the future, and not believing things will improve just isn't the same as, yeah, that. And I and so many others live this reality. I suffer from schizoaffective disorder, which makes my depressive symptoms feel downright unlivable sometimes, but I keep going and I have no plans to stop. That I don't want to be the figure who encourages this mindset, though. I'm currently engaging in adult psychotherapy for the first time in my life. I'm going outside more and spending time with my family, as well as trying to adapt a healthier approach to streaming. I'm doing my best to take this journey alongside my viewers, because I know a lot of us suffer from similar struggles. One of my biggest goals as a streamer is to support and motivate others to get their help and to improve themselves, as I'm trying to. But it's not an easy path, and I don't like pretending that it is. Thank you." So yeah, again, I do think in terms of Twitch's thing, I think obviously having a like an email like this saying, you know, "We're concerned about you," is fine. I don't really know if the 1 day suspension is necessary. I think that obviously, you know, unless it was something actually concerning that actually happened on stream, right, then I can see why the suspension happened. You know, you don't want people to interact with the account. But I think if they are just concerned about the streamer, maybe they should just, you know, put out this contact thing, and, you know, that's about it. I don't think they should really be suspended for 1 day, because you could obviously potentially make the situation worse for them as well. And as Shondo says, you know, she wants to be pretty free to express, you know, her feelings and stuff on, you know, Twitch, because again, sometimes people feel down and they got to talk about it. And obviously it seems like Twitch is one of those places where you can't really talk about it, you know, as much as maybe you want to. So again, I do think that is a little bit disappointing, and the fact that you can get banned for this. But also I kind of understand why, because, you know, I understand that, you know, you don't want this kind of stuff to be on the platform, maybe, and for this to be like a common thing to occur. But I do think if it's just, you know, like a little talk or whatever about life, and, you know, she says that she, you know, fully understands that, you know, some of the sayings that she was saying in there obviously could seem a certain way. So that is probably why it did pick it up. People said, to clarify, I don't think this is mismanagement on Twitch's part, and I sent an appeal to kind of express what I meant to whoever's reading it. But I completely think they were reasonable in the right to bonk me. I think a 24 cool hour period is more than fair. I went too far. I got intoxicated and did not realize that I was being so emotionally affected by the holidays. So I take full responsibility for being a bit too silly. I'll be back on Saturday, which again, I think, you know, is fair enough as well. I can understand maybe giving the cooldown in the case of a ban, but I don't know. I think that it depends whenever this obviously comes in. Maybe, you know, if it was an immediate ban, I feel like that would have been more effective, like as in like it got taken down while the stream was going on. I think that would have been effective. Whereas I think that banning them 24 hours, almost 24 hours after it happened as well, you know, you've kind of already had that cool off period, which I think is kind of unnecessary to ban then. But I think that, yeah, if you are trying to, you know, stop from whatever is happening from spiraling a little bit too far, or, you know, giving them that cooldown period, then I think that, yes, you know, maybe a ban or something should be in place if it is immediate. But again, that's if it's immediate, and that doesn't really seem to be the case here. But again, I do think it is very interesting to talk about and at least discuss exactly how Twitch is doing this, because again, I don't think this is a mismanagement thing. You know how much I hate Twitch on this channel. I talk about how much I, you know, dislike all of the things that they've been doing, especially towards VTubers. You know, they have a very, very large agenda against VTubers in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, we covered the Vidal and Neurosummer warning that they got for pretty much no reason, right? You can see how much they don't really like them doing well. So again, I think there always has been a problem with Twitch and VTubers, but I don't think this is one of these cases. I think this is just Twitch doing its job as a platform to kind of keep people safe. And I think that, yeah, obviously Shondo just got a little bit too silly on stream, obviously picked the wrong word choices, which triggered some stuff in terms of Twitch's kind of, I guess, algorithm or whatever to you know, notify people to send out this, I guess, message, and obviously the ban as well. So I think that, you know, at the end of the day, I think they have done their job pretty well there. As I said, there's a few little small nitpicks that maybe I'd change about this, but again, I think it's fine. It's not like one of these situations where someone's been banned for no reason at all, and it's like ridiculous. They haven't given a reason or whatever. It seems that obviously Shondo knows exactly what they've done, and obviously, you know, they'll try to improve on that going forwards. And, you know, I think it's also important to mention that, you know, obviously Shondo was on hiatus for like mental health reasons. Obviously, you know, she had to take some time away and had to enter subathon and stuff. So again, it seems like she's trying to find out that balance between, I guess, streaming and you know, keeping the mental health all good and everything like that. So I think that is also something to kind of, I guess, kind of add on to that, because again, many people don't know that maybe she was on hiatus as well for this kind of stuff recently, and I don't know if that's maybe something that Twitch has taken into account, that they actually understand that, and maybe that's why they've done it. I don't know, but again, it is something just to keep in mind, because again, obviously people are just kind of trying to look out for these people, especially, you know, the streamers that are kind of just like voicing all of this stuff on stream, you know, in a different, obviously, you know, it's kind of out the context, but in a different context, it could be very bad, and something very bad could happen. So I think, honestly, at the end of the day, you know, not too bad, but obviously Shondo will be back tomorrow after, you know, this video, probably be like 12 hours after this video comes out. So yeah, hopefully everything goes good for her, and hopefully she can get back into streaming and just take this 1 day break just to do whatever, and yeah, kind of reset. But yeah, that's essentially all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSups, use my code Kazo, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all.